All right, another special edition of
Woo!
BoarderLine alongside
Yeah.
Bernie Neighbors. I'm Jeff McCarriger. This is episode number 45, which means, we've
Cannot
only
believe that.
taken a couple of weeks off, I think. I think we took one, maybe 2 weeks off. So
At
we
most.
are like approaching 1 year.
1 year, man. Can you believe it?
No.
I mean, so in November, what did we start in November?
No, we started earlier. We started like October.
October, yeah. So we had to have taken a couple weeks off, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
we
here
took
we
a
are.
couple weeks off around the holidays.
Christmas,
Yeah.
Nuts, man.
So we've got a this is going to be kind of a hybrid episode. So this is a regular weekly episode, so we'll discuss our regular weekly topics, but we also have another special reveal that we're going to do here in this week's episode. But before we talk about who we're going to talk to and what we're going to reveal, is this truly a reveal? Like, really, does nobody know about this?
That's a good question. I don't know what's been leaked. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's a lot of people who don't know about this.
Genuinely are a lot of people that don't know, and I think there are genuinely people that that don't think what we're gonna reveal is going to be the reveal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of people who there are still some big question marks about this reveal, and I'm surprised. Maybe it's just because we've known for a little while.
Yeah,
but the fact that this is not out there yet, I'm shocked. Like, I checked just before we came on today, just to make sure that there wasn't anything out there about it, and the fact that this has stayed under wraps for several days now, I'm thankful.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't think it was going to be possible to keep this a secret.
We're lucky considering what the last week has been as far as all the reveals, right?
Yeah,
there's been a ton of reveals this week already. Some big names put together, some strange pairings, and some pairings that make perfect sense. And quite frankly, when we get to this reveal, I think it makes sense. I think it makes perfect sense.
I do too. I would have been shocked if it was anything but what we're going to reveal.
I don't know if I'd have been shocked. I was kind of thinking after the season ended that things might be different than what we're going to see. But
yeah, I guess maybe shocked is a bad word. Maybe I wouldn't have been shocked, but I would have wondered why.
Right. Which might be a giveaway.
Yeah. Right. Maybe. I don't know, but again, a lot of people are kind of wondering. So
yeah.
Speaking of reveals and me being left out of stuff, not that we're talking about that, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Left out of the fantasy draft, left out of the trip to Universal with the company. The list goes on and on. Left out of the Uber back to the hotel.
I told you we were leaving, man. Yeah, it's time to go. But anyway, I got left out of the Universal trip, but I also didn't want to spend a day riding rides in 110-degree heat either.
I did. I wanted to go, I was waiting. I was waiting for someone to, let's go. I didn't want to go by myself and be a freaking loser walking around Universal Studios by myself. So, and I quote from Tom Gustafson's Facebook page: "Don't forget to tune in to the American Cornhole League live stream Monday night as I get to join Trey Ryder, Jeff McCarriger, and Bernie Neighbors to reveal my partner for the upcoming season."
Yeah, what's that all about?
And if I do recall, I think it was just Trey and Bernie, and there was no invite. So, Tom, thank you for including me on your Facebook post, and for Bernie and Trey, go to hell.
Yeah, I think
that's bitter.
I think that Trey left you out, man. It's all Trey. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I was surprised I got invited. He had Anthony Ione on there. So
great. Okay, so Anthony got invited too. just pile on there, brother.
Yeah, man. Everybody but you. I think we were going to invite Sydney and Kat, but they couldn't make it.
Mish, so. I'm sure they were all there. Yep, I'm sure they were all there. Just like the Universal trip, you son of a bitch.
I wasn't there. I didn't go on the Universal trip. I wanted no part of the Universal.
Still, you were invited. You just didn't go.
Yes. No one talked to me about it.
You were invited.
Wouldn't I know if I was invited? We went and watched football that day, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I was not invited.
I can't remember what day that was.
Those facts we know. All right.
That's
How
too
was your
bad,
week?
man.
How was your week? Let's all right. So you got I mean, as far as things going on in your by the way, in this episode, by the way, and again, I keep forgetting for people out there who don't know, who just kind of follow the podcast and like to listen. Again truly appreciate those listeners out there. So this reveal we're doing right now is the off season technically for professional cornhole, and during this off season, it basically becomes free agency because. And I'm sure at some point we're going to get to multi-year contracts, but right now the doubles partners at the pro level who are playing together to make all this money pretty much just signed 1 year contracts. We might be getting to multi-year contracts soon. I'm not sure, but right now it's pretty much just year to year. So it sets up a kind of fun scenario where at the end of each year, it's just a free-for-all free agency market for about a month until the season starts. So that's why you're seeing and hearing us talk about these reveals, and that's why we've got another big one today. But so speaking of cornhole,
yeah,
have you started the college tour yet? Or are you going?
I go this weekend. I will be. The tour has started. I go to 2 events. I go to Notre Dame, North Carolina this weekend in Chapel Hill, and then I'm going to Ohio State, Penn State Halloween weekend in Happy Valley.
Oh wow! Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
So
all
those
right, so
are
talk
my
real
2.
quick about these tours. So what is the ACL doing? I think you guys did this last year.
Yep,
And
last couple of years.
Where can they find you guys? What do you guys?
I
promote?
play
What are you guys doing?
ACL. Go to iPlayACL /college. You're going to see the tour dates will be on that page. I don't have them committed to memory since I'm not going to all of them, and it got changed a little bit at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the tour. So, but there's 10 stops, and on Friday night before the games, there is a college qualifier on campus. We have now partnered with Learfield IMG College. They've gotten in contact with kind of their local people and the campus rec folks at the host schools for our tour stops, and we have a qualifier for the college event there. And so normally how that works, let's say, for example, we're in Chapel Hill this weekend. Let's say some kids from East Carolina come over and win it. Then they would automatically qualify, but we still take the best team from the host school. So theoretically, you could get two teams to qualify per school, per stop. And so we have these stops going on basically the rest of the college football season.
That's awesome.
Leading up to our college national championships in Myrtle Beach over New Year's. So
is it going to be Myrtle Beach, or are we going somewhere else? Because I heard that going.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's still Myrtle Beach. I know that there were some thoughts about it being somewhere else. I could be wrong. I'm not as heavily involved in the college program as I used to be. So, I'm here with you, man.
Speaking of college and speaking of being left out, so do you actually get to go to the games this year? Are you actually going to get to go? What? Come on.
I mean, unless IMG comes up with tickets, which apparently they do
IMG,
not.
Surely,
I would think there's plenty of tickets to get, but they are not. That is not part of the deal.
Well, StubHub. Hop on
yeah.
StubHub. Get a couple tickets. You gotta go. You're going to some big time games. You gotta at least go to the game.
I would love to. I don't make the money you do, man. I can't afford to go on StubHub and pay hundreds of dollars for a ticket. So I'll just be there, kind of walking around. I might make my way up to Franklin Street after our activation is done, and then I forgot to say, then on Saturdays, the day of the game, usually about 3.5, 4 hours before the start of the game, we have an activation set up. Normally, because it is Learfield IMG and they own the spaces around the university's fields and stadiums. So the activation pieces, which Hellman's is the big sponsor for that this year. So Hellman's will be getting out lots of pub. For example, we'll have a legend piece for each stop. Eric Ebron will be joining us at this stop. Former Tar Heel great Eric Ebron played in the NFL for about a decade. So he'll be there to join us. We have Adrian Johnson will be the pro. Hopefully other pros will stop by. They were just at Texas A&M last weekend. Yeah. And then you had a lot of that Texas crew was there. AJ, Deborah Odom, and a few others were there kind of helping out. So it's a lot of fun. And then, the activation piece is really for the general public to kind of come up, play some open play cornhole, get their picture taken with the legend if they want. And then we have a challenge piece, as far as maybe an airmail challenge to win some swag while we're there, and then a big board giveaway. So some boards that are certified by the NCAA and the university. So legitimate University of North Carolina boards will be given away. So it's a big deal. The only problem is, and as much as I love Chapel Hill, not a great tailgating town. And so,
Is that right? I didn't know that.
There's just not parking. You know, like a lot of the stadiums just have this giant swath of parking spaces around the stadiums. There's nowhere to park. Keenan Stadium is right in the middle of campus.
Yeah.
And there's not, big parking built out for it. So it's not like you can just – there's people tailgating all around, but there's not just giant areas where people are going nuts, unfortunately. But we're in what's called the Tar Heel Village. So we'll be right in the middle of it.
You're just loving it. You are absolutely loving it. We could go for the next 50 minutes. You just talking about this whole North Carolina tailgate.
It's funny. As much as I love it, and as much as their program, I'm not sold on it. I'm never going to buy in again until I see it. They're 3-0. Like, yeah, who they played?
Yeah.
They're 3-0. Look, Notre Dame's not very good this year, right? They're 1-2.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked if North Carolina loses by 2 touchdowns because Mac Brown has a tendency to lose to the jersey, not the players.
Okay, we're now losing our entire audience because we're talking.
Our audience doesn't
football.
care. They love it.
We could
one person told you this, and you believe that's the whole.
We could easily go into Kansas being 3-0, and then we'll really lose everybody.
Do you see all the basketball schools are undefeated?
Yeah, that's
For the first time in the history of college football, all the quote-unquote basketball schools are undefeated 3 games.
Yeah. Well, it's going to change this weekend because Kansas plays Duke.
Right, yeah. So somebody's
in football, and it's a big game. Who knew?
Yeah, right. Who knew?
Yeah. All right, so big reveal coming up on this week's show, and we have one of the 2 partners. So partner number 1, we see you, and as soon as partner number 2 is on, we will begin the reveal here on BoarderLine. This will be a lot of fun. All right, so while we got a couple of minutes, this is a regular episode. Anything with Meet Jeff and Bernie? Anything going on in your life?
Just trying to deal with this house, man.
Yeah.
And we've got to fix our deck now. We had a board. It all comes in threes, man. So now the deck has to get fixed. We're still dealing with the water damage and all that stuff. Yeah, so
one thing leads to another.
It's a straight up disaster here in the ATL.
Adulting is no fun. You and I have talked about this on the phone. It is no fun.
And poor Julie's having to deal with most of it because she bought this place in her name before I moved in. So I feel bad for her. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. 123 Nightmare Street is what we call that in the biz.
It's for sure. Yeah. Right? For sure.
Yeah. Well, I've been conflicted this week. I keep going back and forth because it kind of hit me today in a sad way because Noelle, my youngest, is going to college. So we're going to go up and she's thinking about Clemson. So we're going to go to a game with Trey, which would be a lot of fun. And she'll get a chance to look around. She's thinking about South Carolina and in Alabama. So we're gonna head off to Alabama for a game on October 8th. I think they play Vanderbilt, so hopefully we can get tickets. But God, the thought, Bernie, of her being like 7 hours away and having to drop her off that day, for some reason it just hit me today. Man, that's gonna kill me. I told Kathy, I'm like, I'm preparing you right now. I'm gonna cry all the way back home.
Did you not remember when you got dropped? How did that work for you?
I was a mess. I mean, I only went 5 hours away. And I was a mess going down because I was like, all of a sudden, like I panicked on my way down.
Were you really?
Literally, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was driving in my dad's Pontiac Bonneville. That's how freaking long ago it was. And we leave Iowa City, right? A place where I lived for 18 years and had all my friends, right? And as we're literally pulling out of the city limits, headed for Lawrence, Kansas, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what the hell have I done? Like I'm leaving everybody, everyone, and everything I know behind me, literally in the rearview mirror. And I was freaking out. And it wasn't until I got down there and saw the campus, remembered how much I loved it, met people right away. But I was so now as a parent, knowing that she's going to have to go through that, especially with her being my daughter,
she going to have a roommate?
My youngest, and my baby.
Well, you don't know yet. Yeah, you don't.
She will. Yeah, no,
she'll have a roommate. I don't know if I meant, is she going with someone she knows?
No, there's no one from her class at this point that's headed for Alabama. There are a couple of girls that went down there from a couple of from last year actually, who were seniors last year who went. But yeah, scary. Anyway,
I loved it. That's me. I loved being dropped off. Mom, I love you. I know you're watching, but I was literally like the scene in Braveheart where Mel just screams freedom. I mean, that's what it. I mean, it was literally got dropped off. The tears from both our mothers, as me and I actually went with a friend of mine to Elon, and as we got dropped off and they left, we just started rolling through that dorm, talking to people.
I love that.
Before we knew it, met Michael Caine, sweet mate, aka Ghostfinger. He had a fake ID. Off to Food Lion. We buy 9 cases of beer, and it was on first day. It was on.
I love that. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So it was crazy.
All right, we got both of our both of our guys on. So, but let's I want to talk more about that.
Oh, dude,
Another episode. Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially since you're getting ready to go through it, we should.
I know. All right, let's get this underway. Huge reveal, and again, the fact that this is not totally out there yet, I'm surprised. But let's bring in our first guest. He is the pride of Hamlet, North Carolina. He's currently sitting number 4 on the world rankings, second all-time winningest player in ACL history, 16 career titles, including 7 national wins. Great story. He actually started playing the sport at the age of 15. At the age of 17, he said to himself, if I start playing this sport, and if I start practicing, and I practice every day for a year, I wonder how good I can be. And I've told the story on the air before, and it wasn't just maybe 3 years later, maybe a little bit longer, that after he decided to practice every day for a year, sure enough, he became the 2020 singles world champion and the man of the year. Please welcome back to BoarderLine, our friend of the show, Jamie Graham.
What's up, fellas?
What is up?
All right. Hey, Jamie, please tell me that story is true and I didn't just make that shit up on the air. Did I make that up? Did you really tell me that?
Yeah, I told you that.
Okay, good.
Hold on, Jeff.
Because I've told it a couple of times, and I've told so many stories on the air now. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, that's a really cool story. Did I just make that shit up, or is that real?
Jeff, I have to give Jamie free time here. I kind of blasted him Monday night when Kaylee did her reveal. Apparently, he was sitting right there. So I asked Kaylee how awesome it was to go head-to-head against Jamie and win at Airmail City in the finals. So now I have to ask Jamie, how bad did that suck going head-to-head against Kaylee and losing in the finals?
Way to go, Bernie. He just got on the show with us. Like, we don't want him to hang up on us.
No, to be honest, it didn't suck, though. I mean, everybody keeps saying that, and, I know it's a joke, but honestly, I was happy for her to win because it seems like all year I have more opportunities and more higher percent chances on winning these bigger events. And I was actually just proud of her, the way she threw and finished the whole tournament and win $25,000. So, I mean, it definitely didn't suck, but I mean, everybody talks about it, but that's the only thing that sucks is it keeps going on and on.
People, jackasses like me talking about it. Yeah.
But I forgot who I told it at Shamar's. I told several people though that I was happy for winning and I'm proud of her.
Well, awesome. Even though Bernie may not believe you that you're honest with this as well, because but seriously though, Jamie, I remember you, and I've told you this. I remember you telling me a couple years ago that you said, "Listen, Kaylee's really good. Like if she dedicates herself, gets past her nerves, she's gonna be better than me one day." I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I think she definitely has the potential. I think the only thing that's holding her back is herself with her nerves and stuff, and I can't teach her that. The only thing I can teach her is the mechanics about cornhole and all that, but she has that down. So it's kind of hard to teach her anything. I mean, she has to overcome that herself. Everybody has to do it. I did it. I had to overcome it. I mean, I remember my first time on TV, and I'm pretty sure it was juniors against Josh, and I killed him 4 days before that, it was in a regular room, and then TV hit, and I couldn't even fill the bag. I was so nervous, and I got demolished. And I just remember I was like, man, this can never happen again. This is embarrassing. But I overcame it, and I think everybody reaches a point and they overcome it too. So she will too.
All right, let's get to this. Let's get to this reveal, and without giving it away, is this I don't want to give it away yet, so I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. Do you feel like this is going to be a surprise? Like, was there like what did you consider during the off season as far as what you were looking for in a partner? Whether you wanted to stay with Matt, whether you didn't, bags, like what was part of your decision process with this reveal?
So I want consistency. I want somebody that no matter who I play with, that I can play years to come. Not just, I don't like this playing with somebody, switching, playing with somebody, switching. Like I just don't think you get a bond together. Whether or not your friends are like best friends, you talk every day outside of Cornhole. It's just the bonds on the boards, and you get that chemistry just on the boards, and I think that's big in this game. And so basically just that consistency of playing with that person a lot.
That's an interesting point you bring up, because the last 2 weeks, right, all we've seen are all these announcements and all these players that are playing with different partners, and some of it's cool, right? I mean, I think, for example, we talked about Kaylee a second ago. I think her partner and Tyler Porthras, I think that was a great get for her going into this pro season. But I do like the fact that certain players are like, look, we've got to figure this out together. You know,
Right.
we've got to make this, you know, through one season, into another season, and then maybe we get past whatever issues that we have as a team. Quite frankly, I don't think you and Matt have had many issues, considering how consistent you guys have been. But you know, just finding that level of consistency, like you're talking about with a partner, I think means a lot. I mean, I think it's cool for me and Jeff to have all these announcements and to talk about all these different partners. But I think at the end of the day, I think it makes better sense for teams to kind of stay together, unless there's just an issue that can't be resolved, whether it be bags or personality issues.
Right. It all comes down to business at the end of the day. Like, that's another thing I look at for partners is, can this person help me make more money, or can this person, because I mean, it's business. I mean, of course you have friends in this game, but if that's all you care about, then I mean, it's just it's hard to do that if you want to make money. And especially me, I do it for a living, so I have to look at the business aspect of it. But yeah.
Jamie, one more thing real quick. Do you feel like this is going to be a surprise when people hear this here in just a second?
I think it's going to be 50-50 because of all the rumors I've heard. I've heard so many rumors and different people saying this and that. But yeah, I think it'll be 50-50.
All right, let's get to it. Bernie, you got one more?
One more thing. You know that you're good when there's lots of rumors about you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? People don't talk about people that suck.
Right. Correct.
That's true. You and I kind of talked about that a little bit on Ventura. I mean, you literally had people coming up and taking your picture. You want to take their picture with you, and
which is really strange. Yeah, like
no, I'm talking to Jamie. I'm talking to Jamie, not you. All right. Let's get to this. Without further ado, the doubles partner for Jamie Graham for the 2022-2023 season will be Matt Guy. There he is. Welcome back to the show, Matt.
I think he said, didn't he say he lost?
I have no sound. I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
In the meantime, so Jamie, I will ask you while we're trying to get Matt's audio working. So, I mean, what was there really, like, how much discussion was there? How much did you guys talk behind the scenes? I mean, was this just a no-brainer? You guys knew you were going to stick together. Were you both mutually willing to maybe accept, having another partner to work with? Like, what were your conversations like during the off season?
So I knew Matt I know Matt and Brett. I mean, father and son duo would be nasty in the ACL and for years to come. And I knew that was on his mind. And I told you back at the last national we won, brought it up in the car about, so do you want to run it back next year? And he was like, if we win Worlds, I'll think about it. Well, we didn't win Worlds. So I don't know.
Means we got unfinished business.
Yeah, unfinished business. There we go.
And so, I mean, if you look at like I kind of explained it to Anthony about like why I think we should stay together and how powerful we could be in the ACL as a team. And there was gonna be no grudges if he chose Brett because I understand that's his son. I completely understand that. But I think Jason also pitched out something of why we should stay together for Fire and Eric and Brett. I mean, I don't even know why Brett wants to play with Matt. He's in won 150 leagues playing with Eric. Like, it makes no sense. Like, I mean, they literally, they won 100 this year and 50 last year. Yeah, so 150 as a team in just 2 tournaments. Like, I haven't even won close to that with Matt. Brett.
Nope. Well, you might this year, though. With what I'm paying you to be my partner, you might get that much this year. That's why I still have a job. I got to pay to keep your ass on my team.
So again, for those who don't know, so Matt Guy is the all-time winningest player in ACL history with 18 career titles, 11 nationals. Jamie's right behind him. Jamie has 16. Matt's son, Brett, is also on that list. He has 9 career titles, and Brett is one of the top players. Brett plays with Eric Davis. Brett Guy and Eric Davis have won back-to-back pro shootout championships. So that's what Jamie's talking about for those of you who don't know. So Jamie's like, why would Brett and Eric want to break that up? Because I've already won back to back. But again, Matt, obviously you and Brett have history, father and son playing together. Obviously the family chemistry is there. So I don't think people would have been surprised if you guys had teamed up together. But before and we had some technical issues, so before you could hear us, Jamie was talking about the importance of consistency, and there are a lot of players who are changing partners every year, trying to catch lightning in a bottle. How much did the consistency, how much of the chemistry, just in wanting to run it back again, how much did that play in your decision?
I mean, it definitely plays in my decision, but I've got the ultimate confidence in Jamie's game as well I do in mine. And man, when we're clicking, good luck beating us is all I can say. When we're clicking, we're not clicking all the time, but I mean, when I look down on that end, I've got no worries that business is going to be taken care of on that end. So it's up to me to take care of business on my end. That's the way I look at it.
What is your chemistry like? We were just talking earlier this weekend when we were talking with Eric Anderson and Timmy Jonas, and the first thing that Eric said was chemistry that he was looking for. Second was bags. So what is your chemistry like with Matt? How much do you guys communicate? How important is that when you guys are playing together?
So outside of Cornhole, I wouldn't say like we communicate all the time at all, but chemistry on the boards, I think we're building it as a team, especially running it back this year. I think it's going to be even stronger, but it goes back from the very first tournament I played with Matt for Fire. Pretty sure it was Myrtle Beach Open. I was super nervous, even though that I knew how good I was. It was just the fact of the pressure on me playing with the GOAT, basically. And all in my mind, I'm like, don't mess up. Don't embarrass yourself playing with Matt. And it really, like, I didn't play good that tournament at all. And after that tournament, I was like, why are you doing this? Like, you're one of the best too. Like, just as good as Matt in your own. So just play your game, and you'll be fine. And that turned into multiple national wins with Matt. This year, multiple national wins with Matt. So I would like to say our chemistry is really good on the board for sure.
So you bring up the chemistry question. So when we first started playing, I looked at Jamie. I'm like, dude, you're the world champion, great player. I'm the GOAT, great player. You play your game, I play my game. You want my opinion, ask. If I want your opinion, I'll ask. Otherwise, you play your game and I'll play mine. I go for some air mails. I go for some air mails where he looks at me like, why? But that's the way I play. That's the way I play. Everybody knows it.
That's a great point, Matt. Matt, how much do you coach Jamie? How much does he look to you for coaching, if at all?
I mean, not a ton, but he will. There's times where he'll stop and he'll be like, hey, what do you think I should do here? And I'll give my opinion. Sometimes it's, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And other times like, no, I'm going to do this. And I'm fine with it. He asks my opinion, I give it. What he does from there it's up to him, and vice versa, same way. I usually don't ask for his opinion though. I just go for it.
All right, I've got a question for you guys, and I know he wants to hear his name said. How much is Jason McCannon involved in keeping you guys together, or was he involved at all?
Yeah, so I had a conversation with Jason about that, and he felt it was best for Fire if we keep things as is. And after talking to him, I was like, you know what? I think that is the best thing for Fire right now. So yeah, let's keep it rolling. And of course, we talked with Eric and Brett. They were, everybody's involved in this decision, right? And after talking to Jason and seeing his point of view from where he's at as the business owner and our main sponsor, it was like, yeah, okay, let's run it back.
Jamie, what was your conversation like with Jason, or was it all together?
All together. Jason, I mean, he was big time involved. Like I said earlier, he pitched something to make it make sense of why we should stay together for Fire as a unit, like as a whole. And I think it all made sense. I told y'all or Anthony a while back, I said me and Matt together could do very, very great things for ACO and become something very big. So like in 5 years, if we're still together, people they're like American Cornhole League, but they're also like Matt and Jamie, the legendary team for American Cornhole League. So I think that's big, and earlier consistency. So Jason, he wants it. He thinks, he's always said me and Matt are the best to play this game, and I think it's best for Fire. So yeah.
All right. Speaking of Jason McCannon, one quick thing. I know I had to say his name. He gets mad at me when we're on site and I don't say his name enough about Fire bags. But is it nice to have that loud of a voice? Because when you guys are playing, and for those folks at home that don't know, maybe three of you, when these two guys play together or individually when they're playing singles, the rest of the room is usually pulling against them, right? Because
really?
You guys are. I don't know. Have you noticed that, Matt?
No.
I noticed.
I have to start paying attention.
But when all that's going on, there's that one loud voice. Jason McCannon's always pumping you guys up. Do you even hear him? Is he just yelling to hear himself yell, or do you guys appreciate hearing his voice?
It's the beer talking, Bernie. Come on. No, I wear earbuds. I think, Jamie, you wear earbuds too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I'm jamming to my 80s rock. That's all I know.
Jamie, do you ever hear him? Not when I wear headphones, but you can see him. You can see him. You look over at him. He's like, his mouth wide open, saying something. So you can definitely hear him.
Well, I've made the comparison several times, and Jamie, it was our conversation at the beginning of this past year that got me thinking about this comparison, this analogy, whatever you want to call it, of cornhole to NASCAR with the communication with the crew chief and the team owner. And that's what Jason is to you guys. He's the team owner. He's the Rick Hendrick. He's the guy that you guys go to when you need to make changes to your car. And Jamie, I had a chance to talk to you about this because of, you were honest with Jason and went to him and said, listen, I need to change this. Matt, how I mean, the sport has evolved so much. I mean, like it's hard to believe that we've gotten to this point here in cornhole where that relationship is critical. The fact that you guys can go to your team owner to make changes in a bag, to make changes in strategy, to have conference calls, whatever. It's such a business. Like, what is that like having someone like Jason McCannon behind you guys?
So generally I tell Jason and then I follow up with Rachel and then it happens.
Yeah.
That's generally how that goes. Jamie knows.
So true. That's how I got you both on. I tried calling Jason. He didn't answer. I called. I said, what the hell am I doing? I'm going to call Rachel. I called Rachel. Rachel's like, I'll make it happen.
But
that is awesome.
Actually, I was just talking to Jason yesterday about our new car for this coming year, the bag I want. So, yeah.
But that's great, though, isn't it, Matt? I mean, to be able to have that
absolutely.
communication. I mean, it's crazy that the sport has gotten to this.
Yeah. So I called him and I said, hey, here's what I think I want for next year. And, well, actually, that was a few weeks ago we talked about this. So I called him yesterday to follow up, and I was like, has the new bag been made yet? And he's like, no, not yet. He's like, I tell you what, I'll have him make some prototypes of it and get them out to you and Jamie. So I was like, cool, right away. Cool.
Awesome.
So we should have them next week.
That's
awesome to have that.
how different are, like, all right, so the people at home that don't know, these guys are like any other athlete. Yes, they could pick up pretty much any bag and play well. But if you get something so designed perfectly for your hands and for your throw and the way you want it to interact with the board, you become unbelievably elite and talented players. Like how important is that feel in your hands? Like how different are we talking that the bags feel drastically different in your hands, or is it just that minute little bit that makes a difference?
Man, it's funny you say that, Bernie, because I've always said, because I mean, I've been playing for 22 years, right? So I've played with everything that's ever been, right?
Right.
And my mindset as always was just give me the bag. It's up to me to throw it down the middle. That's the way it's always been. And that's still my mindset. But like when the incinerators came out, I mean, well, you seen this year, my PPR went, whoop,
Yeah.
because just everything that slow side of that incinerator plays just fits into my game perfectly. So I want to change the other side of that bag. I want to keep that slow side of the incinerator, but I want a different side on the other side. So that's the new bag we're working on. But yeah, just to have, I mean, it's all part of, if you're confident, you're going to be good, right? So having that right bag just makes you confident.
Yeah, I've yet to find that right bag.
Yeah, I don't think there is one, man.
Yeah.
I don't think there is, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've tried a lot of different ones. It ain't working. Hey, Jamie, how much pride is there, and how much rivalry is there getting to be in the sport with bag manufacturers? We're going to have Mark Pryor on. I've had great conversations with Mark. Can't wait to talk to him. For those who don't know Mark, we've been talking about Jason McCann, and basically he's the owner, founder of Fire. Mark Pryor is that for Ultra. Ultra's been around a long time. Huge bag manufacturer with great players. And we're going to have Mark on probably in the next couple of weeks, and we'll talk to him about the same thing. But are you starting to feel, Jamie, I mean, a rivalry between Ultra, BG, Fire, some of these other bag manufacturers?
I wouldn't say that. I think Jason's friends with every one of them. Like, he's friends with about everybody. I've never seen – there's only a couple people he might not like, but bag manufacturers, I mean, he's pretty cool with all of them. Hennessy, Rich and Graham. I mean, I don't think there's a rivalry, but I think you got the 5 top big dogs. You got like Fire or Cornhole, BG, Ultra,
Reynolds,
and I guess you could add Contraband in there.
All corn. I don't know if you said all Cornhole, but
He did.
Yeah. But
I guess I don't mean necessarily. I don't mean rivalry in a negative way, like y'all hate each other. I just mean, is there a sense of pride? Like, you want to win it for you want to win it for you and Matt, and you want to win it for Fire. Like, are you starting to feel that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
From day one,
especially when Fire came out with me, Matt, Brett, and Eric as the 2 teams, and everybody was talking about it. He's paying this play. He's just paying them to come throw fire bags and all this. And like, as much as we've won, and people still talk smack about the bags, and I don't understand it. I'll stay away from that on Facebook because I don't want to argue with idiots. But
that's for me coaching him, by the way.
Yeah. Stay away from social media. It's good. It's good to post your own stuff, but don't get caught up in the garbage.
No.
But definitely pride for sure for winning for your company. Because I mean, it's always awesome when Fire wins that weekend, especially the weekend where I won doubles and singles at that national. Jason had the biggest smile on his face knowing that his bags were there for both. And Kaylee and Megan won the women. So, I mean, Fire was everywhere that weekend. And I think it is, pride plays a factor for sure.
Yeah. I the reason why I ask is because I can see it. I mean, I can see your guys' body language. And I know the exact moment you were talking about. I saw that smile on his face. And again, that was I don't mean to say Rick Hendrick. Rick Hendrick is on a different level, but you get when I say Rick Hendrick, I'm just saying that name because we all know it. You know, after one of his guys wins a race, he's got that smile of pride, and I love seeing that. I mean, Matt, you got to be feeling that too, right? I mean, I've heard you yell after you win. You know, Fire,
All
I
fire
know you get a
finals.
sense
Oh
for
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, you say that, Bernie, and there's the other side of that too. When I don't perform well, like in the finals at the World Championship, when I played Mark, I just did not perform well, and I felt like I just totally let Jason down, 100%. So there's the side when you win, the pride that yes, we won for fire, and then there's also that side of, damn it, I sucked and I wanted to win for fire and you didn't. So there's two sides of that, Yeah.
I think Jason just loves the fact that you guys are on TV.
Oh, well, no doubt, no doubt. But so you bring up the bag question, Jeff, real quick. So you look at the bag companies, you look how Fire sponsors their players, and you look how Mike Hennessy sponsors his players with Lucky Bags.
Yeah.
Then how all the other bag companies just have players galore. So there's bag companies going at players different ways. You know what I mean? You got Lucky and Fire bringing in certain players, whereas you got, say, all Cornhole and Ultra with, how many players they sponsor? 50.
Yeah.
So there's different ways they all go about it too.
That is a great point, and that's why we want to have Mark on, because you're right.
Yeah.
You got somebody in the sport like Jason McCannon. He's going after the top players in the sport.
Yeah.
Mike Hennessy signing Mark Richards, the #1 player in the world. He's going after the top player, no bones about it. And then you're right. You got Mark Pryor, who's kind of spreading it amongst the top 25, amongst the top 50. And which it's gonna be interesting 5-10 years from now to see how that works. But you're right, and I can't wait to get Mark on and see what his philosophy is behind that. All right, we're gonna run out of time, but I've got to ask this question. All right, as far as rivalries go, okay, Matt, all-time winningest player, 18 career titles, 11-time national winner. Jamie Graham, 16 all-time career titles, 7-time national winner. Am I making too much of this on the broadcast? I told Trey when he came up with these numbers, I freaking love this. I want to know who the Jack is of our sport. I want to know who the Tiger Woods is. I want to know where Phil Mickelson is. I want to know where some of these other guys are. I mean, does this mean anything to you guys, or are we making too much of this?
No, I think it's cool. I like it. You look at, let's say 20 years from now, we look back at the stats, and you look at the Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and all the stats, and how LeBron's passed so many people, and Jordan and all this. And I think for sure in 20 years when we look back at this, it's going to be very cool to see who was the most winningest player in the ACL by the time in 20 years. Because, Matt's going to be about 75, hurt back. And so,
still playing in seniors, by the way.
What about you, Matt? Matt, obviously, you've been known for a long time as the GOAT, as the all-time career titles leader. Now you got Jamie too behind you. How much do you have that lack for, pardon the pun, fire to stay on top and keep that number and stay number one?
Honestly, I got to say I don't pay much attention to that until I hear you guys talking about it. I really don't, because my goal is just to go out and win every tournament I can. That's my goal, right? And let the chips fall as they may. But I will say there's a little bit of what's the word I want to say? Pride behind what I've done, because you look at this younger generation, and Jamie's in that have come up. Dude, cornhole is their life. That's all they do. You talked about, when Jamie came on, he talked about, if I practice every day, I'd love to practice every day for a year and see how good I could actually get. I really would. But I'm not in that position of life, whereas you got Jamie and all these youngers, man, once they get that in them, that's all they do, and that's their whole life is throwing bags. So I look at me as this guy that gets to practice this much, and I can still hang with him. So that's the kind of little bit of pride I take into it, is that.
Well, for what it's worth, as we get 20 years down the road, I'll be that guy talking to someone about the younger generation, going, "Yeah, but you never saw Matt Guy, you never saw Jamie Graham, you just didn't see him. I know what you're talking about with this kid, and he's good. Yeah. He's good." but you never saw them.
Sure, for sure.
That's what I like about this number, and maybe it's just with me being a baseball guy. As everyone knows, I'm a baseball guy and I love stats.
Mhm.
I mean, we're talking about Aaron Judge this year, right? He's got Bernie. How many home runs? I think he has 60, 59, 60 home
last
runs,
night.
and they want him to get to 62. I mean, that's just a number that people strive for. I like
Sure.
numbers in sports. So I just love that we have that. All right, just a couple minutes left. So coming up here in 2022, 2023. So Jamie, we'll start with you. What will be the focus for you and Matt? I mean, is there any communication of, hey, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to improve, or at the end of the day, is cornhole still just an individual sport and you just got to do you?
I want us to win the world championship, man. I mean, 2 years we have literally threw so good all season, and I think we threw good at the world championships too. I didn't give my best couple games and kind of blew it, but dude, I think we're good enough to win all the nationals, and I want to start strong this year. Back 2 years in a row, we have not started strong the very first national. And that's what I want to do. I want to win the first national right out the books.
What about you, Matt? Same question to you. I mean, what are you going to be focused on? What will you talk to Jamie about in the off season, or will you talk at all? Is it just on you individually playing well at the same time?
Yep, that's pretty much what it is. It's on me playing my game, his playing his game to the best of our ability, and if we're on, then good luck, like I said earlier. But I mean, it's simple. I look him in the eye with 2 words: kick ass. Let's go. That's the goal.
All right, solid way to wrap up. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We can go 2 hours with you guys. Seriously,
Yeah.
I've got so many more questions left. But hey, congratulations! Love you guys are sticking together, running it back again here for this upcoming season. I truly appreciate your friendship, your time, your knowledge, your patience with me to ask you stupid questions. So thank you so much for everything you guys do for me on my end. Congratulations on staying together, and good luck this year.
All right, fellas. Appreciate it.
All right. Good luck, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
All right.
All right, Matt Guy and Jamie Graham. All right, we got about 90 seconds left. So, I mean, really, do you feel like there's going to be people surprised about this? Or
Some. I don't think they'll be shocked. I don't think shocked would be a good word. I think there's some that were thinking, well, Matt's going to go back to Brett, and they're going to switch some things up. But I don't. Yeah. I mean, when you look at I think they both feel like they had, I wouldn't say a down year, but a year where they left stuff on the table, and yet you're still talking about one of the top 3 teams in the world, basically. Yeah. Right? So yeah. I think they both feel in their heart of hearts that you could have a Grand Slam type of season with that type of team.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Winning all the nationals in the World Championship. I feel that.
I love those crossover terms. Grand Slam. You're right. I mean, that's out there. No one's done that.
No one's done that yet. And I don't know if it's possible because of how deep the field is now. But if there is a team that could do it on the double side, that would be one of the 4 or 5 that would be in that conversation.
Yeah. All right, dude, we got to run. Hey, thank you so much to Jamie and to Matt and to Jason. Well, not to Jason, but to Rachel for setting this up and for having this reveal with Fire Cornhole with Matt and Jamie. And as always, thanks so much for watching, everybody. And we will talk to you guys again next week. Talk to you later, Bernie.
See you, buddy.
Bye, man.